What's up, Lions? For as little as $5 a month, you can help this show to grow, while also getting access to our exclusive Pride content, which includes shows like Conspiracy Corner, Degenerate Gamblers, special interviews, Lions of Liberty roundtables, and much, much more. So check that out. Help us grow at lionsofliberty.com/support.
Everything that you do in life is voluntary by your choice, not harming anyone else, and government's job shouldn't be forcing someone else to do what you want them to.
Welcome to the Lions of Liberty podcast. Here's your host, your guide, your shining beacon of liberty, Marc Claire.
Woohoo! Yeehaw! Damn Skippy, I'm excited. That's right. I am excited. I'm very excited to start this show today because just in this past week, we reached a milestone with the Lions of Liberty Pride, our group of great supporters who send us money each and every month. You heard Brian talking about it real quick at the top of the show. We just surpassed our $1,000 a month goal. Our listeners are sending us over $1,000 a month. As of this recording, $1,021.36 actually a month are coming from our listeners, our loyal supporters. I cannot thank everyone out there. Even if you don't send us any money, you're included in this thank you, because without our listeners, without our many thousands of listeners talking about the show, sharing the program, clicking that download button, we wouldn't be here. We would not have a show to produce. We wouldn't have a group of paid supporters in the first place. So I want to thank all of you, from the people who just listen, to the people that share this program, to, of course, the people that financially contribute to help us grow. Thank you so much. And this, of course, means that we are going to Pork Fest. That is right. Roger Paxson and our friends at the Free State Project are running the Porcupine Freedom Festival this year, and we are going, and you guys are sending us there. You're going to help us with our flights, our lodging, everything else that we need to record some podcasts there on the scene. We're going to be doing a live Libertarians in Living Rooms Drinking Liquor, and any of our fans that end up attending Pork Fest, by the way, will get to attend potentially these live podcasts. We're going to have a studio. We're going to have audience participation. Brian's going to record a live version of Electric Liberty Land. We're also going to do a live version of the League of Liberty podcast, which Pride members get to hear. That is myself, Roger Paxson of the Lava Flow podcast, Chris Spangle of We Are Libertarians, and Johnny Rocket Adams of the Johnny Rocket Launchpad. We're all going to be in Pork Fest together. You can come, hang out with us, meet us. So many ways to interact with us by making it over to Pork Fest, and it's all possible thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for your support. Of course, to join the Pride, you can find out more by heading over to lionsofliberty.com/support. We now actually have a new $15 a month level that people are really loving. At this level, you not only get access to all of the bonus audio that we put out, many extra hours of audio every single month, but you also get a free t-shirt, a free koozie, and you get to receive our daily news links email curated by the man who first introduced me to the ideas of liberty, our regular contributor, Howie Snowden. Really, we have received an amazing response to this. This is how we've gotten all of our news and information for years. Howie curates a whole bunch of liberty-related links and things he thinks we'll find interesting, shoots them out to us every day, and now members of the Pride at that $15 level can receive access to those emails every single day as well. People are loving them. So if you're at the $5, $10 level and want to upgrade, that's one easy way to do so, to help us out and to get access to those emails. Really, the support means so much to each and every one of us. I can certainly speak on behalf of Brian and John as well when I say that. I also want to extend an offer regarding PorkFest. If you are considering attending PorkFest, I have a very special discount code for you guys. If you put in the code LIONS10, that's all lowercase LIONS and the number 10 at porkfest.com when you go to check out, that will get you 10% off of general admission tickets or VIP tickets. Now, if you get VIP tickets, you get some free food, some free drinks, but more importantly, you get to hang out in the VIP tent. Well, who's going to be there? I'm going to be there. My fellow Lions of Liberty are going to be there. Ben Swan's going to be in there. Eric July and Backwards are going to be in the VIP tent. So if you're going to go, you definitely want to consider getting a VIP ticket. But either way, use that discount code LIONS, LIONS 10 at checkout. And before we get into today's interview, I want to remind you that this is episode number 340 of this, the flagship original Lions of Liberty podcast. And that means you can find today's show notes over at lionsofliberty.com/340. Don't forget, it's not just me here on the Lions of Liberty podcast. Every Wednesday, Brian McWilliams slaps you upside the head with his weekly shot of comedy, culture, and liberty on Electric Libertyland. And John Odermatt wraps things up every Friday with his look at the broken criminal justice system on Felony Friday. All the reason in the world to make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. All right, friends, with me today is a libertarian candidate for governor out here in California. I am super stoked to be speaking to Nickolas Wildstar. Nickolas, are you ready to roar?
I sure am, and I'm ready to bring back liberty. Let's do this.
All right. Well, some would say liberty never left, but for a lot of people in the society, I think it's clear that it did or was never here for them in the first place. So
oh, yeah.
That's why I do the show, and I know that's why you're out there doing your campaign for governor. So we're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But first, I just want to learn a little bit more about yourself. So why don't you tell me a little bit kind of about your background and how you started getting interested in politics and eventually came upon these crazy ideas of liberty?
It is very strange, crazy, and unorthodox, especially when we have gotten so conditioned to thinking systematically and as status, you know. That's actually a place where I came from as a young man, being forced into the voting population as a Democrat, not really understanding why I was supporting the Democratic Party. I was just always told they were a better choice over the Republicans. And
they didn't even market it as a good choice, just better.
Exactly. Just a better choice, and you're a black man, so you must vote for a Democrat.
It's
so
that simple.
I was just it's that simple, just pushed into it that way. But first started to get into politics at an early age. I was always one to kind of gravitate towards information that pertained to the rest of the world. So in my teenage years, I was watching Primetime Live, 2020, 60 Minutes, you know, those type of shows.
I know that lineup well. That's the same stuff that I was glued to as a kid.
All right, great. Yeah, man, that was where it was at, you know, the information, just learning. And it really just opened my eyes to a lot about how the world works, yet I still felt a bit blind to it. And I moved out to California at the age of 17 and to pursue a career in music. And I was hoping to be some superstar celebrity once I moved out here, but quickly found the reality of the matter, which is everybody's a struggling artist pretty much.
Right.
And I paid my dues, worked hard as a musician, and was able to gain a lot of success as an underground rapper. And my first album, The Real, was independently released worldwide. I have music available on iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, and the album itself is available on, internet stores such as Amazon, etc. And one of the songs
you went under a different name, is that right? If your hip hop name?
Yes, my stage name is Cue Ball.
Cue Ball. Look up Cue Ball, folks.
Yes, QBALL, and the album is The Real, and it's just like that, The Real, okay? Not D-A, real. But yeah, a lot of people think because I'm a hip-hop artist, I got to be able to...
you got to use bad grammar or something, right?
Exactly, but no, it's T-H-E, real. And one of my songs called What's This is in the movie Scary Movie 4.
Oh, cool.
And and my new album, it's called Evolve or Die, and that is available for free right now on Spotify. So please be sure to visit Spotify and enter my information and find my new album, Evolve or Die, and just check it out. I made a big evolution myself as a human being, going from a person that was more so focused on my own life and seeing the, errors of the ways of the world and feeling like it had some effect on me, but still feeling that disconnect, especially since me being younger. But once I started to work hard, pay bills, and, have to deal with real life after high school, things settled in, and I really started to pay attention to what was going on with politics. And I got really involved in the Occupy and Anonymous movement very early on, around 2008 or so.
Yeah, you still got that the Guy Fawkes Max picture as your Skype name here, your Skype avatar.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still wear it when I go out to some events, and
nice.
It's wonderful because I introduce myself as a libertarian running for governor, and they all are taken aback. Like, am I supposed to take this guy seriously? Yes, very seriously, because that was then. This is now. That movement was about 10 years ago, and here we are in 2018. So all of those young people that were out there that were angry about government and wasteful spending and overtaxation, et cetera, the personal intrusions by government, we're older now. And we have an opportunity to get involved in politics, to influence politics as candidates ourselves. So those people that frowned upon us then better pay attention to us now. And during that time, I got awakened into libertarianism by Dr. Ron Paul. I started to hear about ending the Fed in around the movement and didn't know a damn thing about fiat currency or the Federal Reserve or quantitative easing and all of this other stuff. Hearing Dr. Paul speak opened my eyes to liberty and about really government's true role in society. We all think government is supposed to have this authoritative type of presence where they're paternal, telling us what to do with our lives, when really, according to the Constitution, as Dr. Ron Paul said, they shouldn't be doing none of that. And it was very refreshing to actually hear someone saying all of the things we think government is doing, like telling us who we can marry and charging us, seeing prices for it, is social behaviors of our life, of society, that government isn't even supposed to be involved in whatsoever. So just hearing that from a politician definitely made me more inclined to want to know more about policies and the differences between the Democrats and Republicans, which I wasn't really seeing much of.
Is that what moved you the most about Dr. Paul and his kind of the type of things he was saying up there on that Republican debate stage where everybody is basically spouting the same lines over and over? And then here comes this guy who's saying entirely different stuff. And he's kind of saying things that maybe you were sort of thinking to yourself all along. And you think to yourself, wait a minute. Oh, this guy's thinking this too. Wait a minute. This guy's on this debate stage running for president. Like, how is this even happening?
Exactly. And I couldn't believe it. Just the fact that he was on that stage and saying those things and getting away with it, because, it seems like every other person that was outspoken in the government in the past was taken out somehow, one form or way, shape or another. Right. So to have him be on the primetime stage, and again, as you pointed out, as a Republican, kind of just blew my mind, so to speak. And I let go of all of the labels of Republican, Democrat, or whatever, and just started to embrace the idea of individualism and independency, because that's really who we are as Americans. And we just been taught and shown through industry that this is the way, the systematic way of thinking. So I actually got very involved in his campaign. I flew out to his conference out in Florida and took my wife out there, and it was my first political event ever. And it was a rally to get him elected, for the Republican National Party, or what was it, the convention or something like that.
Yeah, the Republican National Convention in Florida. Yep.
Exactly. So we went to that, and ever since then, I just started to identify myself as a libertarian. I soon came to learn about the difference between the little L libertarian and the big L libertarian. The big L libertarians are the actual party members and ones that are involved. So I didn't get to that point up until last year, where I was, or let's say the 2016 election, since it's now a year later.
I'm always behind on the years, too. It takes me until about mid-year to actually accept what year it is.
I know, I'm like, Trump's been in there for over a year now.
Yeah,
Good
right?
God.
It's wild.
But so during the presidential election, I was paying attention to the libertarian candidates, and the one that blew my mind again was John McAfee, of all people. And to me, he just seemed to be the best candidate. He seemed to be the one that could get that mass appeal that the Libertarian Party needed in order for people to actually get on board and support the ideology. You know, he is an eccentric person and, you know, out there. But then again, look at who he was running against, you know, Hillary and Trump. So I was saddened that he wasn't given the opportunity to be put up on stage to compete against them. But because when he first started, he ran as his own candidate under his own party and then became libertarian. And once he did, I saw an interview where they asked him, why did you now run as a libertarian? And he said, I just see the platform as being more in line with my ideals as an independent minded person. And I completely agreed with that. So I then became a Libertarian Party member, and I did run for governor in 2014 as an independent. So when I chose to continue my pursuits to serve as a public representative, or after the presidential election, I chose to then run as a libertarian. So I've been running around the state, introducing myself as the libertarian candidate for governor. I've won 6 endorsements so far from counties throughout the state of the Libertarian Party of California. And things are looking tremendously well for me winning the party's nomination at the convention next month.
Very cool. And, you know, it's kind of interesting because I think California is kind of a weird state, as you know, when it comes to a lot of things. But when it comes to our voting system, we have this sort of top 2 system where, you know, a number of candidates will be on that primary ballot on June 5th, and then whatever 2 get the most votes. And last time, well, maybe not for the governor's race, but I know for like the Senate race, it was actually 2 Democrats that got the top 2 votes. So then we had the wonderful choice of choosing between Democrat A or Democrat B, and that's kind of the wacky system we have then. But how does it work when it comes to getting the party's nomination? Is that more of just hoping for an official endorsement? Because I know I also had another candidate last year on, Zoltan Istvan. I'm sure you're aware of his campaign, and he's fighting to get that nod as well. How does it actually work, though? I mean, I believe both of you are still able to be on that ballot. Is that correct?
Yes, we are both able to be on the ballot. And to correct you, he is not seeking the Libertarian Party of California's nomination.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
He's still running as a libertarian, and he'll still be at the convention next month. Right. But because of the reception he's received from the Libertarian Party itself, he doesn't really care too much about getting the party's nomination. I, however, would love to have that stamp of approval and be recognized as a libertarian by the Libertarian Party. That way, when voters do go to vote in that June 5th primary, they know that I am the selected candidate for people to choose as a libertarian. Gotcha. But because of that 2-voter system, you are correct. It's a possibility that we could definitely be stuck with choosing between Democrat A or B, especially since the 2 leading Democratic candidates are both extremely popular. You have Gavin Newsom, the ex-mayor of San Francisco, and now he's the current lieutenant governor. He's running for governor. And then you have Antonio Villaraigosa, the ex-mayor of Los Angeles. He's running for governor, and they're both Democrats. So what we saw happen in the Senate race in 2016, we could definitely see happen again here in California in the gubernatorial race. So I would like to have an opportunity to change things up tremendously, switch our state from blue to gold. And all the people of California have to do is just vote libertarian when you get in that voters booth, of course. And because the way the 2-party system is set up, if I'm unable, or if any other candidate is unable to compete against the Democratic Party, come November, we'll be stuck with choosing between those 2. So it's really essentially robbing the people of California of their democratic right to actually have an opportunity to choose between 2 separate, ideals or mindsets. Especially when it comes to policy creation in this state. We have a trifecta with the Democratic Party being in control, and they haven't served us any good. And I highly doubt the Republicans would be able to do any better. So instead of choosing between the lesser of two evils, people need to choose a good guy for once. And I would like to be exactly that.
Well, Nick, I know you've been going around meeting people all the time. I always see you on Facebook doing live streams at all sorts of different events. And obviously, it's going to take a lot of that, a lot of hitting the pavement to get that kind of attention that you need to wedge your way up into that top two. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what your plan is? And now that you are an official candidate for governor over the next 2.5 months or so from the time of this recording, what's your plan to get out there and get the attention not just of the media, the voters, of all the different groups and people and interest that you're going to need to get the attention of in order to get the votes you need to make it to November?
Absolutely. Well, I'm kicking it old school. So I'm doing a whole going around door to door, knocking on, people's doors, introducing myself, going out to all of these hole in the wall venues, meeting as many people of the community that I can, because that's who actually win votes, the voters, the people. So as much as these politicians want to make it seem like all they have to do is buy a few billboards and commercials in order to win the elections, yeah, that may happen, but you're not going to win the hearts and the minds of the people that you're supposedly going to be representing. And I know if I can make an impression there first and foremost, then hopefully it will be an outcome and a result in the voter booths with the people themselves. So my goal is to meet as many people as possible because of the low voter turnout in California for primary elections, and especially for a gubernatorial race. People don't really care about midterm elections. Nobody likes midterm anything.
Right.
But
exams, elections, whatever.
Exactly right. What I'm hoping to do is get at least 1 million people to vote for me in the primary. And that's a great possibility, seeing as with the last gubernatorial race, there was maybe 2.5, 3 million people that showed up, and the Republican opponent that went against, establishment politician Jerry Brown for the Democrats was an unknown Republican, and he only got 800,000 votes. Wow. So it's a great possibility that now, since the Republican Party have an even more tarnished reputation, that people will start to gravitate towards wanting to vote Libertarian and or consider a third party option altogether. So now that I am an official candidate and will be on the ballot, and will be in the voters' handbook that will be mailed out to the 20 million registered voters in the state, I have an opportunity to become a household name. And now that I am officially on the ballot, it gives me more notoriety and more wiggle room to where when I contact the press, they'll know to take me seriously because I am on the ballot.
You're not just some dude saying he's running for governor. You are officially on that ballot. So that gives you a little extra carte blanche in the marketing department.
Precisely. And I am running on one of the third largest political platforms in the nation as a libertarian. So we have kind of earned our way. Now it's time to just earn our keep. So I'm without a doubt going to be able to get more press over the next few months. And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to win the party's nomination next month at the convention in April. I've won over the majority of the delegates that will be there, and it will be left up to the delegation to choose the nominee. So hopefully I will be able to win the party's official endorsement come April, in which case April through June is just all about taking over the spotlight. So I've been doing as much as possible, like I said, to go out to as many events as possible. Today I was at Pierce College for a student debate. Got to meet maybe 50 or 60 students of the faculty there and the faculty there, and pass out cards, made a great impression with them to where they're inspired to vote Libertarian and go and tell a friend to do so as well, or family members. And that's what it counts, is if I can get enough notoriety, name recognition amongst the people, because word of mouth is a very powerful promotional tool. We can buy Facebook ads all day and commercials and stuff, but if people are just talking about me, water cooler talk, and they never heard anything about me on the news, that's what's going to make me even more intriguing as a candidate. And I am an average Joe citizen. I've been part of the working class for over 20 years as a working class professional. My last job, I worked as a junior closer at a loan debt consolidation firm. And before that, I worked as a supervisor for a pharmaceutical company. I've worked as a front desk personnel for a medical clinic, So I have extensive knowledge in working with the public one-on-one. And I think that's one of the things that the people of California will also find attractive about me.
Hey guys, this is Roger Paxton, and if you're fed up with the government running every single aspect of your life, but you're not listening to the Lava Flow podcast yet, then what's wrong with you? Check us out at thelavaflow.com, or just go back to sucking up to the government. The Lava Flow podcast, striking the root every single episode.
This is Chris Spangle, and I am the host of We Are Libertarians, which you can find in iTunes, Google Play, or at wearelibertarians.com. We are a podcast that brings you all of the irreverence that modern politics deserves by examining current events from a libertarian perspective. So please, check us out at wearelibertarians.com.
Hey, Liberty Rockers, this is Johnny Rocket from the Johnny Rocket Launchpad. Each week, I strive to bring you the best guests in talk radio. The Johnny Rocket Launchpad delivers weekly interviews of noteworthy politicians, economists, and activists. The Johnny Rocket Launchpad is bringing the party to the Libertarian Party and launching ideas in your direction. Check it out at JohnnyRocketLaunchpad.com or find us on iTunes. Each show is action-packed, explicit, and a lot of fun. So join me at JohnnyRocketLaunchpad.com every week for the newest episode. Keep liberty alive and rock and roll.
Why don't you talk a little bit more about your experience actually interacting with people? I mean, as you well know, the majority of Californians don't really see eye to eye with a lot of libertarian issues, at least not on the surface. I find that things can change once you're actually able to talk to people, but it's difficult to get to that point, with a lot of people out here having some very solidified views, you might say. So what sort of issues do you find yourself able to connect with people on? And on the other side, what do you get the most pushback with?
I get the most pushback on, you guys aren't going to make it. You guys need to change your message. I'm like, well, the message, and if it resonates with you, all you have to do is just start voting libertarian. So I think the main thing that we need to do out here is let people know that we do exist, number one, and number two, start voting libertarian. That's all it takes, because they've been so seduced by the mainstream media to believe that you're going to be throwing away your vote or wasting your vote if you vote for a third party candidate. But in the state race, the primary, it's open to everyone. So you're not throwing your vote away. If anything, you're empowering your vote by selecting the individual for your state that's actually going to represent you. And when I was out there petitioning to get signatures to get onto the ballot, I was meeting people standing outside Walmart and the grocery store and the DMV of all places, where I had a lot of people upset with the government.
That feels like a place that would be a great recruiting ground for someone who's a libertarian, right?
Exactly. I would encourage every libertarian out there that's running as a third party candidate, that's doing the whole petitioning for signatures, to do it yourself. Go out there and meet the people. It's a great way to just connect with them, see what their issues are. If you're
especially
going to
at the DMV, because no one leaves the DMV thinking, great thoughts about the government, really.
Right, not at all. So yeah, just hearing and speaking and talking to these people, they were more receptive to libertarianism than we think. Again, the media, the mainstream media, is controlling public's perception.
Right.
So the majority of people haven't met a libertarian, number one, themselves, or even gave them an ear to hear one out. So I just happened on happenstance to hear about Ron Paul. What libertarian is going to do that now? To bend the ear and actually demand for the public to hear them out. There's very few. We thought Gary Johnson was going to be able to do that, but everything that he was saying fell on deaf ears after the whole Aleppo deal.
Right.
So it's like, here we are now, fast forward. How are we going to be able to get the public on our side? They already are familiar with our identity, who we are, our name, the libertarians. Now, why should they vote libertarian? So what I did was pretty much just talk to each person and ask them one-on-one, what is it that affects you that the government is doing? You know, and if they talk about taxes, I speak about how I'm anti-taxation. If they talk about licensure, I talk about how I'm anti-licensure. They talk about control and them having their constitutional rights infringed. Of course, I'm going to let them know how we're going to be defenders of the Constitution. So I make that stark difference between old establishment party duopoly and new party libertarian, we the people.
I mean, I find when it comes down to it, almost everybody, and it takes a certain amount of practice, I think, to get to this point with people, especially, again, out here in California. But if you really dig in with people and listen to them, don't just try to shove everything down their throat. You can't throw the whole Libertarian Party platform at them. But if you listen and you start to find out, then you realize that everybody is libertarian on something, or everybody has a few issues where they are libertarian. So you start by finding those issues and agreeing with them. And then from there, they're going to be more receptive to anything else you have to say.
Oh yeah, and it's all across the board. You just got to really find those one or two things to kind of say and to get them thinking. For instance, today when I was at the student debate, I asked them, "Hey, why are you forced to only be able to choose one electric company? Why don't we have multiple companies providing electric to us? That creates a monopoly. And if they want to jack up the prices, now we have to pay more for something that we need that's vital to our life. Without it, we'd be living in the dark ages." Right. So it is something that we should have multiple choices for. I was asked about fixed incomes and people having a living wage. And I said, well, hey, what if there's we have a homeless problem here? And if you have a business that wants to hire the guy to sweep floors and pay him $7-8 an hour to do so, that's a way for him to move up in life versus living on the street and having to collect bottles and cans out of the trash to make $25 a day. Yeah. Now you have a reputable position to where now you can build up your resume, move on up in life, but it starts first with you, the individual. And one of the other things, and one of the most things that I feel like libertarians can always bring home, is the non-aggression principle. We don't start there enough. And we all know it innately as human beings, treat others how you want to be treated. It's that simple. And we know that, again, as individuals, because we naturally respect each other's spaces, or else you'd have chaos all the time. There would be thefts and rapings and murders, and it would just be horrible. We respect each other as human beings. We go out to restaurants and we commune with one another. We go to movie theaters. We commune with one another. It's all peaceful. Whenever we have a transaction, whenever you pay $5 to McDonald's for, their genetically modified burger, that was your choice, but just you making that transaction was voluntary. So when we start with letting people know everything that you do in life is voluntary by your choice, not harming anyone else, and government's job shouldn't be forcing someone else to do what you want them to, then they start to think and wonder what really is government's role supposed to be and why are things that way. And that's what we want to do, just get people to start thinking again and question the political system as it is.
It's all about getting those wheels turning. You're probably not going to change anybody's entire worldview overnight. What we can always hope to do here is to kind of ignite that fire, just like Dr. Ron Paul did for you, did for me, did for so many people out there. Say something that resonates with them. Say something that they're already thinking, and that's how we build the conversation. And that's how you change hearts and minds one person at a time. And Nickolas, I know that's what you are out there doing every single day now, at least from here until June 5th. And I'm sure you're going to keep doing it no matter how the political part goes, because I can tell you're passionate about this, and you'll probably be talking about this stuff for the rest of your days.
Oh, yeah. Well, the liberty movement is in me now, and it's just picking up steam at this point. And of course, since now I feel like I'm in my prime, I want to go at it hard, and I want to let people know that this is the line in the sand, and it starts first and foremost with us. So that's why I'm going to step up, and I'm going to represent the people of California, and that's why I'm running for governor.
All right, Nick. Well, why don't you just give everybody one last little go-round of all the ways they can reach out to your campaign, how they can find out more information about what you're doing, and how they can help.
Absolutely. Well, please, definitely, everyone listening to this, visit my website, wildstar2018.com. It's just as it sounds, WILDSTAR 2018.com. That's my website for the campaign. You can find out more about my platform, and I have a Facebook, Twitter page, of course. So please connect with me. Be sure to like, follow, share this information, share this podcast. Getting the word out there helps tremendously. What I'm telling you about this word of mouth, I kid you not. I wouldn't have been able to pay my ballot fee if it wasn't for word of mouth. For some reason, I don't know how, this 60-year-old white lady, blonde hair, blue eyes, up in Northern California, donated $4,000 to my campaign.
Wow.
4 days before the deadline was due.
That's amazing.
So hang in there, stay vigilant, don't give up, keep fighting the good fight, because it will pay off.
Have you spoken to this person? Do you know? You don't know why she? I mean, obviously she was inspired by your message somehow, but you don't know anything beyond that.
No, actually, we've been in communications ever since, and now she's a volunteer on my campaign.
She should be your best friend right now, right? That's awesome.
Exactly. Right, absolutely. And she's now working on the campaign, trying to get people in her communities to support me. And she's calling radio stations to get me on the, radio, and doing whatever she can to just let people know that the libertarian option is the best option for you, we the people. So, again, just please be sure to stay adamant at going with this liberty movement and making sure that it reaches every far ends of the earth. I even got a donation from South America, from our liberty movement happening there. We have people in Brazil and Argentina and Cuba that want to get away from authoritarian control everywhere. We have people in Algeria and Belarus. I get emails from people in different languages. I don't even know what the hell it says, but I go to translate it, and they says they're part of the liberty movement too.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yes. So, and that's what I'm all about. Wildstar.
Wildstar.
Yes, I'm trying to get this wildfire of liberty burning like never before.
Right.
And I need each and every one of you to help me with it. And I can't thank you enough for having me on the show. I truly appreciate it. It's an honor.
Absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Don't forget to check out Nickolas Wildstar for governor of California. And don't forget to look up Cue Ball. We'll actually link to all of this stuff. I'll link to your website, and we'll also link to your albums and stuff too. So everybody can go to the show notes page for today's episode and find all that great stuff. So, Nickolas, I wish you the best of luck. We'll certainly be keeping an eye on your campaign, and I wish you nothing but the best going forward.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And if one more thing, please, people, don't forget to donate. Every little bit helps. We are volunteers. We are doing this out of our heart and soul. We don't have the millions of dollars, the capital that the old party has. So help the new party out and just give us whatever you can. And volunteering your time is a great contribution as well. So if you want to volunteer, just please reach out. If you want to get me on your show, your podcast, like Marc did, reach out to me. And I'll be there, because we definitely need each other to make this happen.
Well, Wildstar, my man, keep up the great work. Keep on roaring, buddy.
I sure will. And thank you. And God bless you, my man. Peace and blessings to you all. And thank you.
All right, gang. I hope you enjoyed my conversation today with Nickolas Wildstar. What a cool name, man. Wish I had a cool name like that. It's a little bit cooler than Marc Claire, but we can't all have a cool name like Wildstar, but we can all reach out to people and discuss the ideas of liberty in our own way. Do that through politics like Nickolas is doing. Others of us do it through Facebook fighting or whatever. Others of us, like me, like to do it at the bar or on a podcast. These are the main methods that I like to discuss the ideas of liberty. But that is the important thing here, is that discussion, is getting those wheels turning in our fellow men and women out there, who many of which hold beliefs that they feel very sincerely about. I don't think most people approach politics from a bad place, except perhaps a very few manipulative people towards the top. But for the most part, people, to me, at least people out in California, now people usually say, how can you live out here in lefty California, commie California? Well, A, it's beautiful and I love it. B, look, people aren't evil. People that believe in socialist ideals or progressive ideals, many of them are not bad people. Many of them are good people who want good things for others. They just look at it in a different way. They haven't been exposed to the ideas of liberty, or maybe they have and they just don't see things the same way. But many people have the same goals, and that's what we got to focus on. Focus on those goals and how the ideas of liberty can help them achieve those very same goals in a much better and much more peaceful way. So I'm very grateful to Nickolas Wildstar out here fighting the fight in California. And I'm very much looking forward to meeting Nickolas in person. He said he's going to try to stop out at our Liberty Behind the Lines event. I'm very excited about this. It's taking place this coming Saturday, March 31st at the State Social House in Los Angeles. If you are anywhere near the Los Angeles area, I highly encourage you to come on out to this event. There is an official event link to RSVP. It is completely free to attend, but we do have some limited space, so we just want to make sure we get a good head count. I will post that link in today's show notes over at lionsofliberty.com/340. But this is very exciting because it's going to be myself and Brian McWilliams, both of which you, of course, know from this very podcast, along with Jason Stapleton of the Jason Stapleton program. He recently moved out here to Los Angeles, as well as part of the Problem's Dave Smith. He's going to be in town to do some comedy with his group, the Legion of Skanks. Brian and I are attending that show. We're very excited about that. And then he's going to be joining us for Liberty Behind the Lines Saturday late afternoon. The event itself is from 4 to 8 p.m., but knowing the people that will be there, I have a feeling things may be extended and pour out into Sunset Boulevard and go to various bars. So if you want to hang out with us and just shoot the S real style, you can do that with us there on Saturday. Obviously, I know most of you are not out here in Los Angeles, but we've got over 100 plus invites, acceptances to the invite right now. So we're looking to have a good crowd out there. So definitely give it a shot if you're even within shouting distance of Los Angeles. And of course, don't forget to stick around the rest of the week. Again, Brian McWilliams is going to slam you right in the face with some liberty this coming Wednesday on Electric Liberty Land. And John Odermatt will be wrapping things up this coming Friday on Felony Friday. Until next time, folks,
Live long and live free.